Welcome everyone to WCU Entertainment Review. I'm your host Jimmy, here with Dylan, who is like any movie being released with Avengers Age of Ultron. He just doesn't matter. Now, Dylan, we're going to be talking about a couple of things today, and I just have to ask you one question.
What question is that?
Why do you always wear that shirt?
I have multiple versions.
Whatever floats your boat, Captain. Anyway, let's send it over to the green screen with us so we can talk about a game I don't want to talk about. Welcome everyone to the green screen. My name is Jimmy, here with Dylan, and we're going to talk about a game that I don't really care about. So let's talk to Dylan.
As you can see on the right is EA's Star Wars Battlefront 3, or I'm not exactly sure if it has the 3 title or not. But it's a game that we're going to talk about today because of the new trailer and due to recent complaints in the current theme of complaining about executive decisions, poor games on release, DLC, bugginess, and all that general jazz of modern video gaming, and our favorite company to complain about, EA.
And when you look up in a dictionary, bad gaming decisions and EA, they go in like a glove. Because here's the thing, EA is a lousy company. They are continually voted as one of the worst companies in America, and the reason for that is they release a lot of bad games with, things not completely done yet, which could be done due to release schedules and all that stuff. But the reality is, it's unacceptable because when you're paying the $60 for a game and it comes out unreleased or unfinished and it's just not very good, that's not okay. Perfect example would be Madden 2 years ago. I'm still waiting for the internet part of it to be fixed.
Now, people are a little bit hesitant about this because the last time one of these games was released back in like 05, 06. So people have been waiting a very long time. And the studio who originally made these doesn't exist anymore because they were closed down by EA.
And they got the Star Wars franchise got sold to Disney, which I'm sure.
And Disney gave EA the rights to make all Star Wars games from now on after they closed down, which is an interesting little fact. But the current studio developing Star Wars Battlefront is DICE, the people who made Battlefront. And the last few Battlefront games have shown the trend we just talked about and were very bad on release and are still not working as intended for the most part.
And we already talked about this earlier in the semester with The Sims, where you had a game that was supposed to be launched and they just didn't get it to work quick enough, and even to still today, there's bugs about it. And that's really, like we said, it's unacceptable. And especially with the game with the fan base of Star Wars, you're going to run into a lot more problems if they have these issues again. EA can't continue to do these type of things because eventually
it's going to burn any goodwill. Well,
the consumers aren't going to buy.
Yeah. I guess if you're interested in this, don't pre-order it. Just wait for it to come out because there's no information about it. Except 2 trailers and the fact that it's a Star Wars game.
I'd probably wait until the release where they start giving you the reviews from like IGN and all the other reviewing companies. So they at least give you some idea what's going to be expected. That's how I think a lot of people found out about the Order having those issues that they had. Yeah. But I think we'll call it a day here and send it back to the desk. And that was interesting to talk about video games, or EA, or whatever we were talking about.
Star Wars?
Star Wars, yeah. Yes. Anyway, let's send it over to television, where we will talk about shows we wish weren't canceled. Okay, we're here at the TV panel. I am Jimmy, here with Dylan, Courtney, and Erica. And today we are talking about a sad subject, when shows get canceled too early. Sometimes it's hard. Something gets canceled. Okay, I couldn't even be serious about that. But anyway, sometimes you do get those shows which do get canceled pretty early in their run, even when they're really good. And I think I'll just kind of start off. There's a show on Fox about 5 years ago. It was called Chicago Code, and it was supposed to be about like Chicago with cops and politics. It was kind of really interesting how they were building it up. And the first season, they did get a final episode where they ended it where they did arrest the main villain, but I really wish they would have been able to continue it past the first season because I think they had a couple of cool storylines they had going, and it would have been interesting to see how the main villain would have gotten out of it or how that would have transpired over the next 2 seasons. But that would probably be one that I think was canceled way too early. Anybody else have one that you think got canceled way too early?
One of my all-time favorite shows ever is Arrested Development, which started about 10, 12 years ago on Fox. Brilliant show. It's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It was always on the chopping block. It ran for 3 seasons on Fox, always on the chopping block, and then finally the 3rd season they axed it. And it's hilarious and it's so wonderfully written and brilliant, but it ended on a really weird note. Like, the storylines were not wrapped up in a good way, and because Fox literally told the creators right before, like, hey, the show's canceled, no more episodes.
I think they said, what, five seasons in a movie?
Yeah.
Was a thing they used to say.
Yeah. And then Netflix did revive it 2 years ago. It was not as good.
Well,
it was still great.
I think that's kind of the problem where, like, when you bring these shows back, you do have that problem where, like, I think we talked about this with when we were talking about Full House. Like, even when you bring these shows back, you have to get these cohesive units to work the same way again, which, it's a moment in time. You don't always
you can't really repeat it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we're going to be able to come back in 20 years and repeat what we have now, which isn't much. But even if we did, Dylan, what's yours?
Mine would probably either have to be Eureka from the Sci-Fi Channel or Stargate SG-1. Both got canceled as they were trying to wrap things up. Eureka got they were promised another season, and then were told in the middle of their 5th season that no 6th season, you got to finish it at the end of season 5, which made all the episodes effectively be canceled, and they had to make up some plot lines. And Stargate got canceled by season 10, and they added like 2 or 3 movies onto it. So it got to expand a little bit.
That's not I don't know any of that stuff. But anyway, let's go to Erica. Hopefully she has a show someone's actually watched.
I have 2. I loved Revolution. I don't remember what channel it was on. I think it was NBC. But it was just about I guess, like, the entire world lost power and how they were surviving afterwards. And there was, like, conspiracy theories, like the government was involved, like science, I don't really know. But it was really, really good, and it got canceled right after their 2nd season. And it kind of, like, once again ended on a really weird note.
Because they expected another season.
Yeah, because everyone kind of expected another season. And then my other one was The Event. Another one where it was, like, kind of sci-fi, the government was involved, conspiracy theories. So you can tell, kind of have, like I don't know.
Like a fun mystery.
Yeah, I love, like,
vibe.
Conspiracy theories and, like, anything that involves the government. So that one was also canceled. And that one was really about, like, there was, like, aliens, and they were, like, they looked like humans, and the government was, like, hiding them. And then, like, there was all these different, like, government groups that were created to house them. And then, like, the aliens, like, escaped, and they had to try to find them. But, like, some escaped earlier and, like, were part of the government, so it was really interesting.
And I know with the Revolution and The Event both had, like, big like,
They were trying to be lost.
but like, they both had this big, like, backing behind them. I know, like, there was a lot of, like, people into it when it first started, and I feel like NBC is, like, the death nail for shows these days. So like, the Revolution.
If you have a show on NBC,
it's not going to go very
Might
well.
as well pull out to a different channel.
Yeah.
Like, I know the Revolution, they had that big hype around it, and I remember people talking about it, and then it's like that first season happened, and, like, I remember they, like, kind of messed with, like, the air dates, which I don't know why they do that, but they messed with it, and I remember kind of just over the 2nd season just kind of losing its...
Well, I mean, like, they both were supposed to be, like, the new Lost, and that in itself has, like, a cult following, so they definitely were, like, cult shows.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love Lost, so anything that they compare to Lost, I always try to give it a try, and I really liked those 2, but they didn't survive the chopping block.
That's always an issue, though, like when a show advertises itself as, like, Lost or this big grand thing. It requires more than just one season. Some shows only require 1, maybe 2 seasons to express what they want to talk about, but a lot of shows that try and be like this big, old, grandiose with mythologies and mysteries and stuff need 5, 6, 7 seasons to actually run.
To get their point across.
Very
and
true.
they definitely didn't have that.
Very true, but we're going to send it back to us up to the desk so we can go
Transition.
talk about movies. Well, that segment was revolutionary.
I'm not
Let's-
giving you any props for this event.
Let's just send it over to the movies. Okay, we are back to talk about movies, and today we're going to talk about Avengers Age of Ultron, which is the second Avengers movie where, for those of you who have lived under a rock, it's where they take Marvel's biggest superhero names, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye. And when I say biggest
Black
names,
Widow.
I mean the ones they have the contractual rights to.
Some of the X-Men, vaguely.
They're not allowed to be referred to as
X-Men,
X-Men or
yeah.
mutants.
It's like Quicksilver was in Captain America 2. I mean, I'm sorry, the X-Men.
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past, and now he's in the different actors playing him in this one. They're not the same character, but anyway, this movie's gonna come out, and the last one was a mega hit. I mean, I think it made over $1 billion.
It broke box office.
Yeah, it was making
broke all kinds of records.
Yeah, it's probably made over $2 billion, and with this one, there's a lot of hype around it. You have a lot of people waiting, and do you guys think it's gonna make people happy, or you think it's gonna kind of swing and miss? What do you think, Courtney?
I really hope it makes me happy. This is definitely the movie I have been waiting for 2015. I love Marvel, I love the Avengers, and I think it looks great from all the trailers, but some clever editing can make it look a lot better than it is. And I'm kind of worried with like this huge expanded roster and the whole Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, can't really say that they're mutants even though they are, origins.
And like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it looks awesome from what I see, and I think it will definitely make a ton of money, probably break more records than the first Avengers film did, but here's hoping it's actually good.
I don't know if they're going to make as much money. I think they'll still make a lot of it, but I feel like superhero movies in general have kind of dipped down a bit, mostly because
that was actually Robert Downey Jr. Throwing down a fist because he's really mad that you said his movie won't make that much money.
Hopefully he doesn't have whatever he's shooting out of that cannon in his arm. But I feel like superhero movies have kind of slowed down a bit because I feel like there is that problem where
there's a glut.
Well, we are oversaturated.
Like 100 movies at us at once, and you also have the problem where the first Avengers, that was the first time that ever happened.
Right.
Like, there was never that on television or movies, so a lot of fans were hyped. Now let's see if they can keep those fans. But
Guardians of the Galaxy succeeded. Completely last summer. So I mean, even if they only do as well as Guardians of the Galaxy, they're still going to make a lot of money. But Marvel's last movie, which was Big Hero 6, I don't think did as well.
No, I think it did pretty well, actually.
It did pretty well.
I think it got some more negative reviews than normal.
I know it did really well. Not really in the market that they think they expected it to do well, but I know it did really well. I think that this movie is a really great kickoff to summer. I always look forward to the movies that kind of there's always one movie that comes out around this time that everyone's really excited about. So I'm excited to see how well it does and if it does break any records.
And you also, you were talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy. To be fair, that movie did really well because last summer, and that's what we started this semester even talking about, or last semester actually.
There was nothing.
The summer box office was not very good last year.
No.
They had it was basically Guardians of the Galaxy and a bunch of and just a bunch of flops. And that's kind of what happened where they had Captain America and X-Men in the front of the thing, and then they had Guardians of the Galaxy in the back, and then you had this long gap of just box office bomb after bomb after bomb, and I think this could be a big hit. I could be wrong where I still think it's going to do really, really well. I just think they have to try to create a new audience where they're going to be interested in coming back each time.
Will you eat your hat if it is a major blockbuster hit and it makes billions of dollars?
I'm not wearing a hat, so I can't eat it.
We can bring one in.
Yeah.
I won't be here by the time this thing launches.
We'll make it happen.
It'll be
through editing.
Yeah.
But I think the kind of the important thing is, especially now that when you have the character roster that Marvel does, the problem with Marvel is you have these. The problem with Marvel.
We're professional people.
Marvel is really upset that Jimmy's watching their movie.
This segment is going great. But the problem with Marvel is they don't own a lot of their main characters. So people like Doctor Doom and these bigger name characters, they can't really use. So they have to use someone like Ultron, who they may not know.
Well, the problem with Marvel is that Marvel. Disney bought Marvel back in 2008, and they basically launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has spawned all of these films. The problem
and TV
is,
shows.
Yes. The problem is, though, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Marvel sold off X-Men to Fox and Fantastic Four to Fox and all these characters, Spider-Man to Sony. So
Marvel needs
now they're kind of kicking themselves for doing that.
Well, they do have Spider-Man back.
They have Spider-Man.
Yeah,
back.
well,
I remember.
We had this whole conversation one day. Remember, we were on the show.
I honestly don't remember the script, but I'm not that professional as you are, Jimmy.
I am professional. Anyway, we are going to call it a day because clearly we have just messed up like 30 things in one segment. So,
C'est la vie.
I think I will ask anybody have anything to say before we sign off?
I think Age of Ultron will like dominate the box office this summer.
Probably.
I second that motion.
I think Annie's going to have a rebound from December and just really take things over, but that's just me.
Did you say Annie?
Yeah.
It's a hard knock life for
Okay.
them.
Okay.
Anyway,
Maybe tomorrow.
Anyway, let's just call it a day because this is clearly going nowhere.
See ya,
Okay,
everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.